Hello everyone, welcome to the new episode of Smitio Talk Special. Today we will be learning more about data domain, a team within Atlas Copco with focus on their new project called Leading Indicators. I have invited Torsten Otto, who is a Competence Center manager for data domain, to share some inside info with us. Hello Torsten, thank you for being here with me.
Hello, it's definitely a pleasure.
Thank you. To get better understanding, could you please start with explaining what is data domain at Atlas Copco all about?
Absolutely. So the data domain within Atlas Copco Compressor Technique, as we are representing only one business area out of four, is definitely focusing on driving the transformation towards a data-driven organization. So overall, we want to empower the business to take advantage of advanced analytics and as such certainly drive value add towards our actual customers.
All right. And what data are you actually processing? What type of data are you processing?
That's a very good question. So in these days, we are supporting all parts of the business. Traditionally, it starts with the typical business intelligence, where you focus, for example, on your HR or finance data. Then certainly salespeople, they will look on their sales result. But we are going as well into areas where we are certainly supporting the business to secure their so-called IoT data. So this is the data coming from our equipment, our compressors, which is in the field. And it's going as well into areas like engineering, design, R&D, where actually in all these aspects, data is being collected, is being processed, and certainly is being made available to empower the people in need in order to drive their decisions to actually serve our customers and our internal needs.
So you are closely cooperating with business as well as the production, and like you are in the middle collecting data from all sides, processing it, reporting it to the business unit so they can make data-driven decision, right?
Absolutely, and that is a very important aspect. I think particularly in data, we are aiming to take the next step to become much closer to the business. It is not anymore like the traditional IT, where you are sitting in a department and you aim certainly to deliver a common service. Here, the close collaboration, understanding the business process, understanding as well the purpose is critical. Delivering a report, we are using, for example, the Microsoft Stack. And from a front-end perspective, we are using Power BI. In order to build a good report, you need to understand what the user is actually looking for. So it is not something you do in a, let's say, dark chamber down in the cellar. You really need to stand up in a joint session in order to understand the requirements and as well bring other disciplines like business process owners, certainly business development people, all these business analysts towards the table for their domain and drive that development jointly.
Could you explain how is the structure of the data domain team?
Absolutely. We are organized through various aspects of our own organization. So let me elaborate a little bit first on that. The business area itself for Compressor Technique consists out of 7 divisions. There's one engineering division, which is driving really the core of our products. Very important next to it is as well as service division. And then the remaining 5 divisions are the so-called equipment divisions, which certainly serve specific brands, specific markets, specific customer application needs. So as such, we need to take that into consideration. And we are organized along these divisions, plus as well along what we refer to those data domains. So every division has a need for financial data, every division has a need as well for sourcing data. So we try to bring that together in the so-called process councils. And that is as well very important from a maturity perspective. We are certainly building the data foundation, which is then being translated into information. We want to turn around the data into information, which is then part of the business process and then certainly connected towards the overall strategic goals. As you mentioned as well, we need to organize ourselves as we are a global organization. And as such, we have 3 delivery hubs. So certainly, the first hub, as you mentioned, is located as well where our business area headquarters is in Belgium, actually in Wilrijk. Then we have very important, our service delivery hub as well in Brno in Czech Republic, where we are certainly building now more and more data competence. Brno as a university city is here certainly a very good connection and allows us as well to attract the necessary talent. We do something similar as well. I should highlight that in Wilrijk with the universities there, because we believe that in these days, those are driving as well as the transformation, particularly if you look into data and analytics. The market is quickly evolving, and certain technologies didn't exist 5 years ago. And to conclude the picture, we have as well a global engineering center, which is not only important for the business area, but for the whole Atlas Copco group, as that is located in Pune in India. And here we are as well able to attract more and more data and analytic people who will support us in the global service delivery. Here, certainly aspects like follow the sun, as well as service delivery through different time zones are important as well to cover the different markets and the different time zones.
Perfect. And what is your actual responsibility and your daily business? What do you do?
Usually, I'm in touch, first of all, with my leadership team in terms of understanding the ongoing service delivery challenges, combined as well with a close follow-up on their roadmaps. So we have a new vision in order to execute. We are adopting the so-called agile methodology, which we have started last year. Here, usually, and this is rather as well a fascinating and easy approach, we define those so-called big, hairy, audacious goal. I always compare it with putting a flag on Mount Everest, and then we define how we want to get there, what we need to do, why we are doing it. And certainly we, as a data-driven organization, we define KPIs and we follow up on that. So the time certainly is spent here on certainly growing the team, coaching the team, following up on the deliverables. And next to it, very important as well to define vision and mission with our stakeholders across the business, which is certainly taking as well a big part. And next to it, I'll enjoy moments like this as well to focus on recruiting the necessary talent to deliver our services. So some part of my time goes as well into recruiting and having as well external communication, which I find is equally important.
Perfect. Well, let's focus on the new leading indicators project. What is it all about? Why did it happen? Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. We started actually in 2018 with a sales reporting solution for the business area, which in itself is a very exciting project. We are bringing from the different ERP systems our so-called lagging data together into one data solution, into a data reporting solution, which as such has given us clear insights about our orders received, our orders on hand, and on our revenue. So this is really traditional business intelligence. What we started then already in 2019, we took advantage of our global customer relationship management solution, which is based on SAP, Cloud for Customer. And we took those so-called leading indicators as well into the sales reporting solution, which overall was overseen by a product owner developing the solution. What we are now realizing is that the business has great ideas in terms of taking advantage of that data asset. We want to combine it, for example, with Google Analytics, with HubSpot. We want to actually do much more in terms of forecasting capabilities. So taking the traditional business intelligence and really move it into what we are calling now advanced analytics, certainly taking forecasting opportunities into consideration. And as such, we believe it is now time to get a dedicated product owner for the leading indicators.
Who will be the end user of what you will create, who you are actually doing it for?
Very exciting question. Actually, we have 1,700 internal users. These are actually sales managers, business line managers, communication managers, going up to vice presidents for sales and marketing, as well for finance, and even our top executives who on a daily basis are looking actually on one hand the sales results, as lagging indicators, but most of them are as well equally curious about what is coming up. So the leading indicators, which start with a lead, being somebody who might visited us at the fair, who has announced his interest in our products. Those leads we are certainly working on with our sales force to convert into a so-called opportunity. So we get a clear understanding about what the person is really looking for in terms of products or services. And then hopefully this opportunity will materialize in a so-called quote. So we are quoting officially about the product or the services in need. And once this quote is accepted, which is certainly winning the sale, it materializes as an order received. So then we are at the lagging indicators. What is now very important, all these leading indicators, so starting from a lead going until actually a quotation, this is driving what we call our funnel. So within the funnel, we see how these different leads actually lead towards a quotation. And this data assets in its complexity, because you have start dates, you have end dates, you have dates where things actually become more mature, so the lead becomes more mature as an opportunity, requires a dedicated actual team where the product owner we are looking for is actually brings the necessary data and analytics functions like engineering, modeling, front-end design in order to take that product to the next level.
So the ultimate goal of leading indicators is to increase sales?
Absolutely, absolutely. So our intention is to optimize the sales process. On one hand, certainly increase it, certainly to take aspects into consideration. How can we help the sales force? One aspect is certainly always, why did we lose a quote? Why was a reason that a potential customer walked away? So there are so many aspects you can bring in. One aspect which we recently discussed is what impact, for example, has training towards a sales engineer on the sales result? Can we see patterns? So everybody who is excited about data will realize that a lot of options exist. One option which is as well close to my heart to take the data forward is, as we are maturing in terms of the processing from a lead to an opportunity or to a quote, you can take a snapshot and say, okay, at this point in time, I had all these quotes. So you can start, for example, as well to do a kind of high-level forecasting what product company actually will be busy building what products, let's say in 2 or 3 months down the road. So it is not only somebody who is actually in sales and marketing, but it is really requires somebody who is realizing, wow, this data I can use as well for other applications. I can help the production planner, the assembly planner, what is coming up for their production line. I can help as well the HR people to streamline their training. So this is really where I'm getting personally excited about the data and analytics. While you potentially have that title, I'm the product owner of leading indicator, and everybody might put you into this little drawer for sales and marketing. You have actually the whole world of opportunities to influence as well the other domains, giving insights, which in these days, they might not realize we are having at hand, but actually with the right processing and the right analytics, this will make sense.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So this makes sense from what are the goals of the team, what is the main purpose. If I look at it from the data engineer perspective, for example, so let's say I would like to join the leading data indicator team. What I'm supposed to expect, what will be my actual work, what tools I will work with, and what will be the tasks as part of the project?
So that's certainly as well always an exciting question for the technical and I would say as well for the geeks among us. Here, I have to admit, Atlas Copco CT has taken a decision a couple of years ago to build on what I would call really forward-looking platform. We are using Azure or Microsoft Azure services as a platform. And inside the Azure services, you have as well the full stack of advanced analytics. What we have done, we have built a so-called lakehouse concept, which is, if we Google it or if we do the necessary search on the internet, quite advanced. A lot of people are rather impressed. And one of the core components we are using inside that lakehouse concept is coming from Databricks. Here as well, for those who might say, oh, I'm not so familiar with Microsoft, Databricks can be used as well on Amazon services. So everybody who knows Databricks will be immediately happy with us. And who doesn't know Databricks, because it's a young product, I trust will know SQL, which is as well a technical component, which is far along in the market. And there are as well tools in order to immediately allow pipeline building as a data engineer on Databricks through the SQL interface. So we have a lot of options to attract and bring people on board. That is one thing. We have as well a rich e-learning and certification process, which I find particularly in these days as well very encouraging. People would like to learn along the way. We promote lifelong learning. So as well, Microsoft training and Databricks training is available. And as such, if there is something missing in terms of technical stack, we will definitely listen as well to ideas. But I believe the tools which we are offering are really state-of-the-art and will attract anybody today in data and analytics from a data engineering perspective.
You mentioned that basically you started to think about leading indicators back in 2018, and since then you surely made some steps already towards that, but the team is newly established. Like this leading indicators team, as I understood, is basically right at the beginning. Last time I spoke to Petra, you were just looking for a product owner who will be basically building the team from scratch. Is that still so?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that question because it's getting as well to the juicy part of this whole development. In 2018, we actually, as I indicated, we started with a sales report. In 2019, we added leading indicators. How did we do this, or what did we do actually there? We actually built with a partner a quite successful solution. So the product owner we are now looking for will find already quite some information. It's not starting on a blank page. But what we realized is while moving along these at that point in time is that we have a dependency where a lot of knowledge is sitting with a partner outside of our organization. What we are seeing now today and what has made the change is actually that we truly believe that we need to keep that knowledge internally, that we have much more capabilities with an internal team to deliver, that we shorten as well time to market, and that we overcome the typical standard challenges in terms of dealing with an external partner to realize that. Nevertheless, the job which was done at that time was excellent. There's no concern for anybody who is joining us. There are no skeletons in the closet. I believe what we only want to do is we want to do more. And as my boss always says, he's never satisfied. So we truly follow as well one core principle. One of our CEOs put forward, there's always a better way. And we want to really open up a new chapter in order to move ahead. And I think there are already some foundations in place. This is covering, for example, data modeling, data governance, having the data as well on the right platform. So the person who will be the selected candidate can actually jumpstart and actually deliver rather quickly.
Except of the product owner, who will be kind of like the leading of the project and will be looking for other team members, what other roles will be actually part of the project?
We have internally already a so-called data domain steward available. That will be a person who will be part of the extended team. It's located in the business and reporting to our VP sales. There we have as well, very important immediately as well, one of our stakeholders. We have as well the so-called marketing, or I should better say the sales and marketing council, where representatives from all divisions are coming together. So stakeholder-wise, business ownership-wise, this is in place. The product owner definitely will have to do the transition to secure the external knowledge to become internal. Thus, we are definitely looking forward to bring in at least a business analyst, a data engineer, as well as a data modeler in order to strengthen the team to actually then deliver. We have internally already as well in another team, data quality specialist, which will join the team. So we believe that actually the product owner will have an extended team of roughly 6 to 8 people. And certainly then, depending on what I usually say is a backlog or the appetite of the business, we would certainly scale up in order to drive then as well as successful delivery, which will hopefully show the value this data can provide to us.
In terms of timeline, what is the planning there? When do you expect that the leading indicators will be up and running and providing the data which are necessary to the business?
I think once again, we have it already running on a platform. Doing the transition to the new platform will take, I would say, most likely half a year. But I believe in terms of really taking it to the next level, that can be as soon as a team is there, shown through the agile delivery methodology. So as I usually say, somebody who is joining Atlas Copco, we usually give them a grace period of 100 days to get to know our structure. We are highly decentralized, get to know as well the different stakeholders and the teams. But I'm fully convinced the person who will join us after 3 to 4 months will have already the first success stories in terms of adding additional functionality, features which are giving insights, building as well a trust pattern with the business. This is really something very exciting. And then ultimately the sky has a limit, because once again, I believe from an advanced analytics perspective, in terms of forecasting, in terms of prediction building, there I would say something down the road, 6 to 12 months, that would be nice to see. But it depends as well, certainly on data quality, on data modeling capabilities. There we need to actually follow as well our data governance principles. But that person will have a tremendous ride, I would say, for the next 12 to 24 months in order to show. And then I will bet a lot that more data assets will be joining that domain. I indicated Google Analytics, I indicated HubSpot. The customer journey, as we usually word it, is really a data field, particularly sales and marketing is highly interested in.
Yeah, that was actually my next question about what will be next after this 12 to 24 months, once the basic is done. And then, as you said, there is always new and better way. So do you assume that data domain and the leading indicators team will be playing more and more important role further on?
I truly believe in that, because once again, the sales and marketing domain is a very important domain within Atlas Copco. I think for every company we can say. In terms of capabilities in the future, in terms of certainly machine learning and artificial intelligence, I believe much more ideas will materialize, which we are looking into it, like again, forecasting, predictions, that is one piece. Finding as well profitable customers, securing as well and streamlining the processes, certainly minimizing the time converting, let's say, from a lead to an opportunity, from an opportunity to a quote. These are already basic examples, but certainly this is something where I believe, and this is very important, this product owner will get on a journey. And certainly what we are discussing here today won't be in place in 3 years. It will be most likely, from my perspective, looking totally different as it will transform itself, both in terms of process, technology, people. There are a lot of ideas in the pipeline where I believe this will be a very successful journey. Knowing as well now the data domain, and this is as well something within Atlas Copco which we highly promote. Usually people get a mission where we believe within 3 to 5 years you complete that mission, and then we are looking for new opportunities. So as such, we strongly believe as well that the right candidate coming on board will be as well in a position then to grow further in the organization, getting much closer as well to the business, and as such will have as well a very interesting forward-looking career.
Thank you so much for that. You mentioned at the beginning data-driven. This is kind of a buzzword within the industry now. But when I spoke to some of your data engineers during our webinar about how you process and report data, visualize data, they actually mentioned a lot of companies using that as a buzzword, data-driven decisions, but it's not always the case. Lots of companies just leading towards data-driven. How would you evaluate the current situation within Atlas Copco? Where are you now, and where are you leading? When do you think you will reach that complete data-driven decision?
That is as well a very exciting question, because in these days, you're absolutely right. Data-driven is a buzzword. We can talk as well about the other buzzwords like artificial intelligence, machine learning. You know, during these, let's say, 2 last weeks, everybody's as well talking about open chat GPT. So from that perspective, we can feel it, we can see it. How do I define data-driven? I think we need to turn once again to the business. I believe this is very important to put ourselves into the shoes of, let's say, a business analyst sitting in sales and marketing, or somebody sitting in HR, or somebody sitting, let's say, in engineering. Allow me to stay a little bit in the sales and marketing domain plus HR. I mentioned that already before, and data-driven for me is defined in the following way, that somebody, let's imagine that for a second, is joining, let's say, one of our divisions next week, and is starting to work, let's say, in HR, and as such gets a very simple question on the table from his or her manager, getting the question, can you give me a kind of report where I see the impact of training towards a sales engineer? And what I would now call data-driven is that this person, without going to the IT department, going to a central place, we refer to that as a data catalog, finds there the data assets in need. So I have sales engineer information, I have sales performance per engineer. Oh, I have as well training information by, let's say, internal person. And the data-driven from an engineering perspective really connects now the learning data with the sales data of the engineer. And this link, what from a data modeling is this unique link, what the architects and the modelers have built, that is automatically made available to that young fellow who just started working for Atlas Copco, and allows him or her actually to build that report on the fly. That is what I would call, that is my vision about data-driven, that everybody is having the basic data literacy, has a very user-friendly way to get access to data. We are as well skipping all the hassles about, do I have access? Do I have the necessary security? What we believe is strongly, people are really empowered. Due to their profiles, they have automatic access to the data, and actually they can immediately start perform their job in order to answer that business relevant question. And I believe this is something where I want to be very transparent. We have a lot of challenges in front of us, but from a vision perspective, we need to put the actual business user into the spotlight. This is what I would call my first horizon, building the trust, empowering people in order to get going. Now, and this is now the real exciting part where where companies are talking about data-driven, we just only talked about internal people, empowering them. Now we want to take it as well afterwards to the next layer in terms of building solutions which will help our customers. Data assets as a product, which become interesting to the customers. These days, certainly energy consumption. If you select this product, can I compare my existing former product and see what energy savings, for example, this Atlas Copco compressor would deliver, or that Atlas Copco solution or service? So these are the type of questions we need to drive as well forward. So this whole data-driven is not only internally, it is externally, it's the whole community, it's our society. And certainly a lot of challenges are along the way. And I believe some of my engineers you interviewed the other week in Brno are already indicating that with all these challenges, certainly some question marks arise, but that is, as we usually say, there's always a better way, and we will find as well a solution in order to make it happen.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Last questions. I see behind you, and I also see on your jacket, you are proud Atlas Copco member. You're celebrating 150 years in the industry. Could you, and I saw on your LinkedIn that you have been working for Atlas Copco for a long time now. Can you just like highlight what are the things which makes you stay in the same company for so long?
Absolutely. First of all, as you're rightfully saying, yeah, we are celebrating 150 years of innovation. And I believe, particularly from a data perspective, this term innovation is something which really resonates. Once again, we are using technology which didn't exist 5 years ago. The sales reporting solution, which we started as well in 2018, we are already starting from a roadmap perspective as well to tune it. We have other data solutions in sourcing, in logistics, which are now as well being reevaluated in terms of bringing it to the next level. So overall, and this is something which I hopefully highlighted already earlier, we believe in a mission. So each employee who starts with us gets a mission, and usually after 3 to 5 years, we evaluate about, okay, have you accomplished that mission? What is your next challenge? What is your next interest? So there is a lot of mobility and as well a lot of growth opportunities within Atlas Copco. So looking, for example, as this product owner, you could start as a product owner in a data team, but you know, from an ambition perspective, you could become in a couple of years potentially as well a business development manager because you have demonstrated understanding the data, the processes. You could move into business process management. You could as well become a project leader driving a larger program. So opportunity-wise, there's a lot. Looking and reflecting about me, yes, Atlas Copco treated me nicely. I had a couple of opportunities, for example, living abroad for multiple years, getting different assignments, and as such, it allowed me certainly to grow within the company, always with the challenge that you find yourself after 3 to 5 years at a desk where you might feel in the first days a little bit uncomfortable, meeting new people. But as such, this is very exciting. You build your network, and as such, it is a great company, which is now demonstrating to be around 150 years. So I'm looking forward as well to continue with the challenges at hand.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Torsten, for your time, for sharing all this exciting information about leading indicators and data domain. And it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.